Looking at the structure of Look Back, there is a pattern in how Fujino understands her craft. As per her entire life story, she is constantly being prodded by those around her to pursue drawing professionally or as means of expression. This challenge of another corrupts her love and dedication to creation. Contrasting the habits of her life before and after that moment shows this rather overtly, but it does beg the question of how this one-track pursuit of improvement otherwise destroys the connections around her. Well, we can jump off from the point of validation no longer being enough for her. The film posits this singular criticism from a classmate as more impactful to her ego than any positive notion she has ever received. It is perhaps the most pivotal moment in displaying how her behavior leans towards self-absorbed confidence while simultaneously introducing the idea of people motivating her obsessions. Although seemingly far more comfortable with the world around her than Kyomodo, she lacks any tact or ability to understand perspectives outside her own, finding subtle threats to her ego, no matter how disconnected, upsetting. The core example is her departure from drawing after consistently feeling bested by someone she doesn't even know. What fascinates me is how the film balances her through bonds of companionship. After losing the sole driving force in her life, I found it surprising that she could recover so quickly through bonding, probably as a portrayal of the frequent swings of childhood emotions. I would say, though, that meeting Kyomodo is a critical combination of these ideas, creating a restored trust in her art and ability produced by the very competition that led her astray. Notably, she never acknowledges Kyomoto's skill and refuses to admit her own insecurity, instead thriving on the validation of someone she knows is more talented. It's a complex package that otherwise alienates Kyomoto as a character, being used as fuel for Fujino's own ambitions. Although it is clearly defined by the film that they have a loving relationship beyond a shared interest in putting lead on paper, it's not surprising that their eventual falling out highlights the failure in each of their personalities. Fujino insists on herself as the pack leader that Kyomoto would be best suited to follow, where this notion has bred insecurity in the opposite party. In a way, they mirror reliance on each other for progression and fulfillment. The most unsettling exchange lies in how Fujino plays with Kyomoto's importance, replicating her own work being devalued by the school children around her. It's a cruel cycle of self-hatred that Fujino goes through. Even more saddening is how it truly defines their last interaction. As it would seem, this once again leaves Fujino desperate for the same caliber of person that she believes Kyomoto to be, reflecting that in her work and the people she works with. Her deliberate request for better artists to imitate that old feeling rings of desperation, and again displays how her drive to create collapses under lack of connection. This may be my boldest take, but I don't think Kyomoto's eventual death even means what is literally shown to us. After all, it is downplayed by the alternate timeline, which displays how even through leading separate lives, the two can connect through their art, which seems to have an almost instinctual hold on Fujino. Even more intriguing is how Fujino's rejuvenation and return to creation comes from seeing Kyomoto's continued support of her work despite their connection stagnating. To say this is a part of the conversation about Fujino's ego is a bit of a stretch, and I would lean towards it being more of a potential switch of motivation for her character. Perhaps she never sought self-assurance through validation of her work. Instead, Fujino only wished people could see through to her inside the work. At least that's my half-baked thought after seeing the movie and writing this in an hour. Thanks for watching.